Done couple of hours of flying at Bombay Flying Club, and I was in Daman Coast Guard base training to be a pilot.
In one of the other podcasts, I was speaking to another printer friend where he mentioned that probably printing industry is the largest industry in the country, and
Correct.
We do not realize our strength. If all of us come together, we would probably be much bigger than a pharma or the oil industry
Absolutely.
also.
Experience to go to a print shop on the road, it's not a very pleasing one.
I agree.
So we started a cafe kind of ambience.
Hi guys, welcome to Ink Stories, India's first podcast for the print industry. I'm Sujit from ASM, your host for the show. Thanks for your response for the previous stories. It means a lot to us. Those feedback helps us improve our work better. There have been a lot of questions that has popped out. One of the questions that came out was, are these podcasts only meant for printers from Mumbai? No, this is not only for people from Mumbai. We are intending to cover people from outside as well. If there are people who are traveling to Mumbai for work, they could let us know. We could plan a schedule for them. And we are also looking at if we can conduct these sessions online like we used to have during COVID times. So if you have an inspiring story, please do reach out to us. Guys, we had an MBBS doctor in the last episode. I understand from many of you that you enjoyed listening to his story. Guess who do we have this time? We have a pilot. He had an option to fly to the US to pursue his career, but he chose to remain in his family business in Mumbai and be a printer. He's Adnan Nagarwala of the Oxford Group. We had an amazing time shooting this episode. I'm sure you guys would enjoy this episode as much as we did shooting it. Before moving ahead, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe. It means a lot for the message to spread across to the print industry. And whenever you give your feedback, please do it in the comment section of YouTube. It helps spread the message. Hi Adnan bhai, happy to see you.
Hi.
Welcome to Ink Stories. It's a pleasure to have you. Everyone has known you as the owner of Oxford Group. I have seen your journey personally for so many years. I'm sure my viewers would be more than happy to know about your journey, your personal story of how you have reached where you've reached. So again, I welcome you on our podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Sujit. It's amazing being here and going through this together. Let's play.
So look forward for an interesting conversation with you. We are all excited and we want to take this conversation ahead. Let's get started. The first question as usual is, how has been your journey till date? Where were you born and how did you get to this place?
So I was born in Bombay, born and brought up in Bombay.
Okay.
I went to Christchurch School,
Okay.
Baikla, and then done couple of hours of flying at Bombay Flying Club, and I was in Daman Coast Guard base training to be a pilot.
Okay. You never thought of pursuing that side of...
But because of family pressures and all, I had to come back to...
So this is a family business.
Family those days used to still feels that it's a dangerous job. So.
I understand. I'm sure. So this business was started by your father?
By my father.
Okay. So it's been a family business.
It's a family.
And you've expanded to where it stands today.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's been, so how many years in the printing industry for you now?
More than 30 years.
More than 30 years.
More than 30 years.
Great.
And we, along with my father, we are about 51 years old.
Totally. The Oxford Group stands at 51 years.
Yes.
Oh, that's super. That's very nice. Great. So, any interesting stories in this journey of yours that you would like to share?
All about learning, falling, getting up and falling and learning and growing.
Any specific incidents that you remember that stands out, if at all? Good, bad, it could be either.
So about learning, I can say, or stories where I've learned, where I failed. So I've had couple of startups which related to the print industry. We thought digital is coming and conventional print is going to go. So it's about time we get into B2B and B2C online space. So we started that company. Then brick and mortar stores are going to remain. So we started RES, that is Retail Experience Stories, where we thought of giving strategy, design and converting the design and executing the design.
Okay.
Your POP, POSMs and everything. And I think we were a little ahead of time because we were talking of AI in 2014 and 15. And that due to the with the camera and all, that AI could read the demographics those days and play the content accordingly.
Okay.
And something like that.
Wow.
Then we started Print Cafe, where just now currently the experience to go to a print shop on the road, it's not a very pleasing one.
I agree.
So we started a cafe kind of a ambience, and where you get your designs, and that we wanted to franchise, but because of pandemic and a lot of various other reasons.
So which year was this?
All this started at 2016.
2016. Okay.
No, 15, 16 approximately.
So now you've shut it down, or
no? Yeah, so after COVID, I said let's come back to basics and come again, because no emotions should be attached.
Absolutely.
So if you fail, you take the responsibility and move ahead.
That's part of life. I mean, part of winning. When you've won so many times, you're going to fail a couple of times. That's fine.
So I feel to grow, it's important to take the responsibility on yourself rather than blaming people, processes. मेरा ऐसा हो गया, COVID आया तो ऐसा हो गया. So you're responsible, and you determine you should just get up and move ahead.
Agree. That's well said. I mean, actually, many people blame the situation and they don't want to take a chance again. Many people want to just blame probably COVID, the government, or so many others.
लोग अच्छे नहीं मिले, मैं तो किया था, फिर ये हो गया, फिर COVID आया. So there are n number of reasons, but you cannot hide from yourself. So you have to take onus,
yes,
and do it again, all over again.
Yeah, right. On that note, what success means to you?
Success, according to me, means is when you can impact people's life, and make changes and do something good for the society. That is success to me, rather than anything else.
Yeah, quite deep. Yeah, that's right. I mean, actually, success means so many different, or success has so many different dimensions for different people.
Yeah.
And it's always so
success for me is not all about money. Money, I feel, is the byproduct. So if you, and the more lives you can impact, the more successful you're going to be.
Yes. And this is a very common thread that I see amongst entrepreneurs, where they want to, now many of the printers have reached a certain stage, and it's not only about the money now. Because beyond a certain, I think COVID has taught us that we don't need money beyond a certain point.
And our industry, I feel, they are more scared of competition, and I feel they should be more collaborative.
Yes.
So when they are collaborative, because this is one of the basic industry to do any business, and if all are united, a lot of things, people need us actually.
In one of the other podcasts, I was speaking to another printer friend, where he mentioned that probably printing industry is the largest industry in the country, and we do not realize our strength. If all of us come together, we would probably be much bigger than a pharma or the oil industry also. We probably need to put the numbers together.
It's the basic need, no? It's after roti, kapda and makan is print.
Correct. Without printing कुछ नहीं होता है.
Paper, note भी paper का है ना.
Correct. हर चीज में printing होता है. Be it a t-shirt, be it any form. Yeah, totally. So why printing industry? I mean, you had this nice background of being a pilot. It's a sexy profession.
That's what initially I thought. Why am I getting into this? काम करो फिर अपने.
Did you ever have any second thoughts? Why did I get into this industry?
No, initially I thought I am going to go run to US and I'm not going to come back.
Okay.
But then when I go, this is so interesting, you meet so many people, and this industry, if you take it well, it's a fantastic industry.
Yes, you get so much to learn from this industry. There's so much that you're interacting with people, so many different applications, so many different things that's happening.
And if you're a creative person like you, then you'll enjoy more.
Thanks on that. I really appreciate. So what are the general myths in the printing industry that you have found that people face or experience?
You're talking of, let me just understand your question properly. So I thought when you're asking me this myth is towards the printing industry, how people take printing industry?
The people in the printing industry, the people outside the printing industry, how do they perceive the printing industry? So, the myths generally about the printing industry.
I think it's changing slowly, but printer is called अरे वो printer को बुलाओ यार. There is no value, respect, and for the profession, for the value which we are giving, we are not respected as an industry. I feel.
And
अरे ये नहीं तो कोई दूसरे को बुलाओ यार करा लो.
And more often I also feel that many people think it is just about pressing a button and you get your product. It's not that easy. There's a lot of touch up and a lot of work that needs to be done.
Absolutely.
The setting. I mean, being in the same industry, though we do not print ourselves, we get to know that even setting a job takes more than 30 minutes.
Right.
Just one job. It could be even printing 100 pieces.
Not the job, but the whole cycle. No, it involves so many stages. It's human, machines, or everything in synchronization to be done, executed flawlessly. It's a big thing, no?
Yeah. So, how many places do you have your plans? How are you planning your work?
So, our main branches in factories in New Bombay.
Okay.
Offices in Lower Parel.
Okay.
And we have a fabrication unit in Lower Parel.
Okay, great. And how is your general work day? You start early, you start late?
Yeah, I used to be a 5 a.m. guy, but now I just shifted a few months back to a new place, so getting back to my routine. So my work starts at 7 a.m., ends at 11 a.m.
Okay. Every day?
Every day.
You are
11 a.m. So
11 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard 11 p.m.
No, 11
a.m. So you come to work between 7 and
11? No, I come to work after 10, but I start working. My planning and preparation is on.
In the morning.
And my delegation is on. By 11:30 I'm kind of free.
Okay, so you're ready for your other things. You do anything other than in the printing industry? You have any other business or any other area of interest outside the printing industry?
This is my main.
This is your main forte.
Bread and butter and everything is in this.
Okay, great. You said that you moved out from your place where you staying. So you've been in Bombay throughout? Born and brought up in Bombay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The next question I would want to know from you is what has been the general challenge that you've faced in this many years of being in the printing industry?
The general challenge is when you hire people or the people are with you since many years, then they become a little complacent and they resist change to new. That is the challenge. The people's mindset to take change in a positive way, I feel, has been a little.
Okay. And anything else that you would want to elaborate in terms of the cash flow, which we generally hear in terms of people saying that capital, and what are your views about cash flow and all that?
Cash flow, you can say working capital. So all this, I believe, is when people talk is when they miscalculate their profit of margins. They don't take in account their ROI, their investments, their expenses. Aaj ka itna mila, and that's how. If one guy starts something, the other guy to compete him will lower the rates, and then finally.
Correct.
It becomes a vicious circle which is non-profit making.
Correct.
And you are bleeding, and now after COVID, most of the things have become cash and carry. So people are facing cash flow problems.
Right. So
customers are still enjoying the credit limit, and we are paying by cash, and so it's a whole cycle. So it needs to be broken.
We are financing their business.
Yeah.
So, talking more on the business front, what has been the resources that have come handy to you? Any mentors or anyone that you could lean upon when tough times have beset you?
Best mentor I can think. There have been many mentors where I've learned, but one of the best mentors is my wife. She's always been static in my good and bad days.
Okay. Anyone else that you think of at this point outside?
My dad. He's been the values, principles, the ethics, and there have been a lot of at various stages. There have been many people who guided me and helped me and mentored me.
I'm sure. Great. Moving forward, what do you think are the indispensable tools in the printing industry? If I have to be specific about the question, is इसके बिना नहीं होगा, यानी बॉस ये तो बेसिक नॉलेज होना चाहिए किसी भी पर्सन में प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री में काम करने के लिए. सो यू थिंक एनीथिंग इज important as far as skill sets that is required to perform in the printing industry?
About the skill sets, I'll come to you, but I feel for an entrepreneur, basic thing which needs to be learnt is little bit of finance and compliance, which people धंधा करते बाद में देखा जाएगा, because you have to be compliant, you have to plan your finances, and you have to plan your growth, and I feel that is the key thing for a person to run the business successfully. Money pulls money, and need money to do business.
Yeah, and I think that's true of any business, that once you have a control over your cash flow, everything is in control. Else is. Because you will not have sleepless nights, you don't have to worry about paying anyone. So things are so much...
I think you should pay attention to your account team and finance team, so your creditors, vendors, debtors, creditors, everything is well taken care. So once your goodwill is gone in the market, then it becomes very difficult.
Agreed. So I'm just putting the same question in a different light, so that it might help many people listening to this podcast. What do you think generally? You might have seen many printers who probably did not succeed as much as you've done over the last many years. What were the reasons that they struggled, or what are the major reasons that printers usually struggle with in business?
So I feel a person, before doing any business, not even print but anything, but they should have a little research about the market they are entering. What is the need of the market, and is there any way they can fill in the gap? And if you go with the run of the mill things, and you're competing and with the lack of cash flow, and slowly it's a slow death. People don't understand if you compromise too much on your margins and beyond sustainable limit. So it's not good for the business in the long run, I feel.
अपना स्पेशलिटी क्या है वो जानना मेरे ख्याल से काफी जरूरी है.
मार्केट में क्या जरूरी है वो जानना जरूरी है.
Right.
और वो हिसाब से अपना स्पेशलिटी,
गैप इन द मार्केट,
वो हिसाब से अपना स्पेशलिटी बनाओ.
हाँ, यूजुअली क्या वो बाजू वाला ये कर रहा है तो हम भी करते हैं. हम भी करते हैं, जस्ट फॉलोइंग द हर्ड.
वो अच्छा है यार, वो इसमें जाना चाहिए. विदाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग यू जस्ट डाइव इनटू समथिंग.
Correct.
It's better to understand, make a business plan, do a SWOT analysis.
Correct.
What is your strength? What are your weaknesses? Opportunities.
Correct. Do you follow anyone in that space in terms of giving you some corporate gyan? Any influencers?
I listen to many people. I listen to Brian Tracy. I listen to Zig Ziglar.
Okay.
In India, I listen to Santosh Nair.
Okay.
There are many.
Okay. I'm sure it might be coming up quite handy.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, these are all wonderful people. I've listened. I've heard to Brian Tracy.
Earl Nightingale.
Yes, that's nice. Great.
So, and I feel a person should upgrade himself by learning every day.
True.
Do something. Some learning of the day has to be there.
True.
Whether by books, by audiobooks, or when you're traveling, just put on something in the car.
True.
Get something.
True.
Which will help you personally, family or business, whatever. But something has to, some positive thing has to go.
Value addition thing.
I always believe in starting my day on a positive note with affirmation.
Very important. Something. Well said. Very important. I agree.
So little exercise, little prayers. Always.
So you have some kind of exercise.
You should have a little
in your
consistent.
schedule?
Yeah. So my prayers, my exercise, and my yoga are my base to start my day.
Very nice. So if I had to say, of the 30 years of business that you shared with us, what is one event that you remember that stands out?
So first machine which we had bought offset, we were into letterpress, and we had no idea, and we bought a scrap machine, paid the machine, and it took us a lot of time, energy and money to get that small machine started, because it was a very small machine, so no good engineers used to come and service it, and we had no idea how to run. When the first print came out, so it was like a memorable day, because
you're so happy.
We've achieved something, a big thing.
I could imagine that could be something really difficult and at the same time ecstatic. Finally kar diya. I'm sure there would be so many such stories.
Kiya, and been through the machine from start to end inside.
Okay. So you're a hands-on guy?
Hands-on guy. I used to be hands-on, but now not anymore.
Much lesser. Now you're like the
Not anymore.
Boss had taken care of
Not
things.
the boss, but got so many other things
I'm sure. Yeah. I meant it in terms of
Yeah.
strategy, in terms of
Yeah,
seeing how the business is moving.
So it's
You've got
now,
multiple locations.
now actually it's more than hands-on. It's more of mentoring
True.
my boys.
True, I totally agree. So, what would Adnan want to be remembered as? What's your legacy you would like to leave behind?
A person who's done business, who's an ethical person, who's a humble person, and has been some part to revolutionize the print industry.
Okay, that's nice. I'm sure all the people who are listening, who have known you for so many years, can vouch for it. I've known you for a couple of years, and you've always been very humble and forthcoming. And when you agreed to do this podcast, while knowing that it's not even seen the light of the day, so we are happy that you've been kind enough to be here and share your story with us.
Thank you so much.
For the entrepreneurs who are coming into the industry in the coming years, what are your advice to them? Be it probably for running a business or even working. So would you advise them to come, or would you not, or anything else?
Can you repeat the question?
I meant the new generation who would probably want to choose printing industry as a profession. What would be your advice to them?
So getting into the print industry, because this is one of the necessities, and it's going to be here till human beings exist and are using products.
Right.
So print is going to be needed because it has to be packed. It has to the instructions has to be read.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. So my advice to the younger generation who would like to invest in print industry, as I said, you identify the correct market where there is a need, where there is potential, make a good business plan, have your finances ready, keep a little buffer for your working capital, because we exhaust everything in the machinery plant and then we are left with very less. So that is so I feel a good business plan would be a great way to start.
Interesting. Nice. I'm sure it is going to help a lot of newcomers into the industry. And for the Oxford Group, what is the next goal? Where do you see yourself?
For the Oxford Group, I see the Oxford Group as a company with a state-of-the-art infrastructure, and where everybody of my staff reaches their goal is my goal.
Well said. I'm sure it has to be an inclusive growth. Not only the boss or the owner of the company is growing, everyone in the organization has to grow.
It is written, I've written this in we have a vision statement, so how the Oxford is going to look and so I believe in a lot of education. I believe in caring for the animals, so we are animal lovers ourselves. And I feel everybody in Oxford should have their own home, so I will assist them for their education, their children's education, and I am doing it in my own small way, but
I'm sure, and it will be really helpful for other entrepreneurs as well to incorporate this in their, if they have not thought about it as yet. I'm moving towards the last part of this podcast. I have two more questions to you, and one of them is there something that I should have asked you and I missed, and if something that you thought, "Arey, ye to mujhe पूछना ही चाहिए, this is something very important part of my life."
I think you should ask me what are your core values. Because without core values, an organization cannot last. Core values is nothing else but Siddhant, and it is non-compromisable, non-negotiable. So you should have asked me core values. So, what are my core values?
So please tell us about your core values.
My core values are truthfulness, determination, never give up attitude. And I don't like to start anything with a no, or I would not like my person saying नो सर, ये नहीं सर, ये कैसा पॉसिबल है, ये तो कल हो ही नहीं सकता है. रादर देन आई वुड लाइक टू लिसन, सर इट्स डिफिकल्ट बट विल ट्राई. दैट्स एंड आई बिलीव in the religion of humanity. So don't talk about religion, but talk about humanity. First be a good human, and then you have the right to talk about religion. So those are my core values. And core values, I feel, that is the DNA of an organization. So if everybody's got their values, good, bad, everybody is. So those values, किसका नहीं, पैसा किसका रखने का नहीं, दे देने का. So every company has got their own DNA. Everybody's got their. So you should identify those values and percolate it down to your team, so everybody is in sync.
Yeah,
that is what I feel.
It was not a part of my question, but I still want to ask you this. And since you asked about paisa de dene ka, and that's something it is a very pertinent in the printing industry.
Right.
So your views, I would like to know in terms of ki jab there are many people who don't pay on time.
Right.
So and they might be having the money, but they don't pay. They are क्यों जल्दी देना, रहने अपने वो काम आएगा. So what are your thoughts around it? कि is it the right thing to do to keep cash with yourself or pay off and
So that's what I said. If you have your finances plan, what are your debtors, what is the creditors, and if you value your goodwill, you will pay people on time. That is if you have the money and if you are not paying. So that is, I feel it's wrong.
It's that's wrong.
If you don't have the money, that is because
you've not
planned it well, or your margins are wrong, or something is not right.
Right.
Or you've taken more liabilities than loan है, ठीक है भर देंगे हो जाएगा, but not calculating what will be the ROI.
अब पैर ज़्यादा फैला दिया चादर.
पैर ज़्यादा फैला दिया. बैंक दे रहा है, ले रहे हैं.
And then you're stuck in
and you're then just to fill the bank. Then you're doing the jobs at any cost. So you're not dying today, but you're dying slowly. Death.
It's a slow death. Yeah. Agreed. Well said. Great. One more question is, how do you see the print industry 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What is going to be the impact of the digital uprising that's happening all around us? Will commercial printing stay? Will packaging stay? Is it going to change?
So commercial printing will stay, but not the way we are looking at. Maybe in a particular segments where retail is happening, because brick and mortar store is going to remain, and visibility is always going to be the need for human beings, and where packaging is concerned, it will evolve, it will get better, but packaging, printing is going to remain. There is no two ways about it.
No two ways about it. You don't see that any of these labels are going to QR codes and stuff like that.
So even if it goes to QR code, but yet it will be printed.
It has to be printed, yeah.
So even if it gets
branding तो चाहिए.
Branding तो चाहिए.
बिना branding का तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता.
Right.
Correct.
So the way we market ourselves today with this lot of social media, undoubtedly commercial printing has taken a little hit, but I feel it will.
And you see this on the Western Expressway. There are some hoardings that have moved completely digital.
LEDs.
LEDs, yeah. So so many of the signage guys would be having a.
So that is the part and parcel of evolving. No,
yeah,
things will change, because earlier days before signages. The painters lost their jobs because all the signages, everything, billboards used to be a painted billboard. So it's gone, it's come to flex, and now flex is banned, and now LEDs are coming in. But some from the other people's...
That's part of the evolution.
Yeah.
So you are welcoming the change.
Yes.
And I think that's the way it should be.
That should.
So Adnan, would want to know from you, who would be, like, we wanted Adnan to be a part of our first 20 podcasts.
Right.
So is there someone in your mind that you would want to hear about their story? I mean, everyone, we hear a lot about them otherwise, but otherwise specific about their personal stories.
Not personal and professional both. I would like to know about Technova's owner
Pranav Parekh
and Manipal owner Mr. Gautam Pai.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure everyone would want to listen to them. They are amongst the stalwarts of this industry. Yeah, I'm sure. So my last question to you is, what do you think about Ink Stories, this podcast?
I feel Ink Stories, this initiative is fabulous, and it's going to be a game changer, and all my good wishes to Ink Stories, and it's an amazing initiative, I feel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sujit.
Thanks, Adnan. I really appreciate you sharing your time with us and helping us on this one-on-one. We hope our viewers enjoy this as much as we have done shooting this.
Yeah, I didn't think it was so smooth, but it was fun talking with you.
The same here. Likewise, I really enjoyed, and though we've had many such conversations over the phone and in person, but nothing like that having it in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sujit. Thank you.
Thank you.